still comes down to the process of, just like we talked about last week, having your eyes in the right place, trusting the guy beside you to do their job, all those things. The physicality's got to show up. I got to have them more prepared for different things that they can see that maybe that we didn't see coming into it. A lot of different things. But to me, the biggest message for me was trusting the guy beside you. That's what I was talking about. You got, no matter who you play, you got to trust that the guy beside you is going to do their job. And when it turns into a 11-on-11 football and things like that, and you're not trusting the guy beside you, things can get ugly no matter who you play. So.
And then obviously Navy is a different type of offense with the triple option and stuff. Mm-hmm. So when you're taking things from that game, how much of that is the fact that it's an offense that you're most likely not going to see again? How much of that is you kind of just chop up and just move along?
I don't ever chop any of it up. Regardless of when you think you're going to see anything again, it's going to show up again. No matter really who we play and things like that, we always go through the film and say, okay, we need to work this, and we need to go through this. We need to have a better schematic answer for this. We need to have, all those things. Because the only answer you got is to go back and go to work, no matter if you're a win or a lose or whatever it is. And that's, to me, that I've always got the same process, no matter if you win or you lose. I find the trouble plays, I find the issue plays, or things like that. We go back and we show them and we explain them, and this is our plan to defend it. This, things like that. Just always trying to learn, no matter what happens from the game result.
When you went back and watched it, was it more like we talked about, maybe unique offense doing things that you didn't expect, or was it more things that you guys didn't execute?
It was a lot of self-inflicted. There were some things that they did that we haven't seen, that I wasn't able to show them, which is 100% on me. The scheme is hard, no question about that. But, there's a lot of self-inflicted issues that we had. There's a lot of missed tackles. I think we had 21 missed tackles in situations to where it's one-on-one, we got to get it down, and that's always going to show up. And that's been a reoccurring issue over the last couple of weeks, just in the last two games. Multiple missed tackles. Eyes in the right spot. Communication hasn't completely risen through the game. It can't go quiet and expect people to understand what the next guy's doing. But it's always going to come down to communication, eyes, physicality, and tackling, and then trusting the guy beside you to do those things too.
Other than just tackling more in practice, how do you fix that moving forward?
You got to do it in order to get better at tackling. You want to practice after this? We can get some of these reps in. But in order to, it's the same thing as anything. You just got to do it. You have to do it at a high level. It's like you can go out there and do drills all day long. When you get out there and it's a real speed of a game, that's different. And so you got to show them that speed. They have to see that. And tackling is hard in college anyways, just because of the speed of everything. You can turn on any tape whatsoever and see missed tackles every weekend. So it's everybody's got the same issues. So it's just, my plan is you just keep tackling. You get better at tackling by tackling and studying why we're missing it. Is because we're dropping our eyes? Is because we're stopping our feet? Is because we're not using our arms, clamping through it? What are the individual reasons that person's missing a tackle? Because it's different for different people.
So the other part of that, you just talk about trusting the guy next to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you work on that? How do you teach that?
Communication and practice. And I thought we just had a really good practice of just one of my mentors always said, really good football sounds a certain way. How it sounds when you hit, how it sounds when the players are talking. When really good football sounds a certain way, and it sounded like that today. Where everybody was over screaming. You're talking through another person for the communication to make sure he got it, and maybe somebody else gets it too. That, to me, it just sounds a different way. I can go out there and shut my eyes while we're going through, and I just listen to them. And I know it's going to be a successful play because of the volume of how the communications work. That's where trust comes from.
Coming off of a tough loss like that, the defense can perform how you would have liked them to. Who on the field out there has taken leadership and rallied the troops?
It's the same guys. It's Chandler. It's the same guys it's always been. The biggest thing, the leadership's always got to be there. The thing about it is, but it's going to be the guys that have earned it. To me, it's who are going to be the new guys that continue to step up. That's going to be the underlying factor. The guys that continue to push, find their own role, find exactly what their job is. And I can't answer that right now. I don't know. It comes out on Saturdays, in my opinion.
With the tackling, with football being as physical as it is, how do you balance being as physical in practice, but also not overdoing it because of attrition and everything? How do you balance that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's, you know, one of the best football teams in the world have a high amount of toughness, especially defenses. High amount of toughness, and I understand, like, you know, we gotta take it easy on these days and get their. I mean, I understand getting their legs back under them, and all that, but football is a grueling sport. Don't turn it into not a grueling sport. You know what I'm saying? You got to be physical. You have to be physical, and you have to be tough to play this game. You have to, because the physical, the hits are going to keep coming. So you have to it's a hardening process, in my opinion. You just got to continue through that hardening process to your body. You got to get used to those things. So our guys tackle, and they're used to those things.
Coach, what sticks out to you about MTSU on tape?
Quarterback's really good, really good. 11's a really, really good player. He's got weapons all around him. You know, I think the running backs 22 and 4 are really good. I don't know if 32 is going to be back or not, but obviously the receiver number 1, 83, is a big time player for them. I think they're big up front. They move well. You know, they have big play explosive ability. You know, if I think third play of the game versus Duke, the running back took it for 72 yards. You know, on the third play of the game last week. You know, but they have the ability for explosive plays when you turn the tape on, and obviously throwing for a bunch of yards versus Western Kentucky. I think it was like 453 yards. The quarterback can spin it, and he makes great decisions. He's not just hasty with the ball.
You've talked about the routes, obviously, and everything, scheme potentially changing week to week. Was there anything that you saw in the Navy game that makes you think that, like, scheme changes are necessary moving forward?
We were in a completely different scheme last week. We never ran that defense, which is partially the issue. You know, that was basically for a triple option defense. It was completely different personnel playing too. If y'all noticed that, there was a lot of people that didn't play in the game that usually play on Saturdays because of the personnel that we were in. So it was a completely built different deal that was sort of specific to that. So we're back to our normal personnel now, to be honest with you.
Does that make you not want to do that as much because of what happened, or is it just maybe?
Oh, I have no. I mean, until you find out what you're playing, it's not triple option. It's not wing T. It's not. You know, there's a lot of different levels of that offense. That depends what you get. So, I don't know.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.